श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय।
श्री गुरवे नमः।
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 आचार्यं विजानीयान् नागमन्येत कर्हिचित् नमर्त्यबुद्ध्या सूयेत सर्वदेवमयो गुरु। हे परम प्रियतम,
हे परम प्रियतम,
पूर्णतम पुरुषोत्तम श्री कृष्ण,
पूर्णतम पुरुषोत्तम श्री कृष्ण,
तुमसे विमुख होने के कारण,
तुमसे विमुख होने के कारण
अनादिकाल से हमने,
अनादिकाल से हमने
अनंतानंत दुख पाए,
अनंतानंत दुख पाए
एवं पा रहे हैं,
एवं पा रहे हैं।
पाप करते करते,
पाप करते करते अंतःकरण
इतना मलिन हो चुका है,
इतना मलिन हो चुका है
कि रसिकों द्वारा यह जानने पर भी कि तुम अपनी भुजाओं को पसारे, अपनी वात्सल्यमयी दृष्टि से हमारी प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हो, तुम्हारी शरण में नहीं आ पाता, हे अशरण शरण, तुम्हारी कृपा के बिना तुम्हें कोई जान भी तो नहीं सकता, ऐसी स्थिति में हे अकारण करुण, पतित पावन श्री कृष्ण, तुम अपनी अहेतुकी कृपा से ही हमको अपना लो, हे करुणा सागर, हम भुक्ति मुक्ति आदि कुछ नहीं मांगते, हमें तो केवल तुम्हारे निष्काम प्रेम की ही एकमात्र चाह है, हे नाथ, अपने विरत की ओर देखकर इस अधम को निराश ना करो, हे जीवन धन, अब बहुत हो चुका, अब तो तुम्हारे प्रेम के बिना यह जीवन मृत्यु से भी अधिक भयानक है, अतएव प्रेम भिक्षा देहि,
प्रेम भिक्षा देहि,
प्रेम भिक्षा देहि,
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि।
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि।
प्रेम भिक्षां देहि।
बोले साकेत बिहारी श्री राघवेंद्र सरकार की
जय।
वृंदावन बिहारी श्री यादवेंद्र सरकार की
जय।
श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की
जय।
जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे।
Please stand. जयति जगद गुरु गुरुवर की गाओ मेरे आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मेरे आरती रसिक वर की। गुरुपद नखमणि चंद्रिका प्रकाश जाके उर बसता के मोह तमनाश। जाके माथ नाथ तब हाथ करे वास। ताते होए माया मोह सब ही निराश। पावे गति मति रति राधावर की। गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। अरे मन मूढ़ छाड़नारी नर हाथ। गुरु बिनु ब्रह्म श्याम होना देंगे साथ। कोमल कृपाल बड़े कृपा सिंधुनाथ। पाके इन्हें आज तू अनाथ हो सनाथ। इन्हीं के अधीन कृपा गिरिधर की। गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की। भक्ति योग रस अवतार अभिराम। करे निगमागम समन्वय ललाम। श्यामा श्याम नाम रूप लीला गुण धाम। बाँट रहे प्रेम निष्काम बिनु दाम। हो रही सफल काया नारी नर की। गाओ मेरे आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मेरे आरती रसिक वर की। लली लाल लीला का सलोना सुविलास। छाया दिव्य दृष्टि बिछ प्रेम का प्रकाश। वैसा ही विनोद वही मंच मृदुहास। करे बस बर बस उच्च अट्टहास। जय हो झूमी चले चाल वही नटवर की। गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। जयति जगद गुरु गुरुवर की। गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। मतप्रेयान राधिका प्रेयान। मधवो राधिकाधव तस्मादपि गरीयान्यो कृपालुर्मे जगद्गुरु गुरुं भजति श्रीकृष्णः श्रीकृष्णं भजते गुरु सिद्धान्ततस्त्व भेदे अपि कृपालुर्मे गुरुर्महान् यस्य साक्षात् भगवती ज्ञानदीपप्रदे गुरो मर्त्यासधि श्रुतं तस्य सर्वं कुञ्जरशौचवत् एष वै भगवान् साक्षात् प्रधान पुरुषेश्वरः योगेश्वरै निर्विज्ञानघ्रिर्लोकोऽयं मन्यते नरम् यमुनानिकटतटस्थित वृन्दावन कानने महारण्ये कल्पद्रुमतलभूमौ चरणं चरणोपरिस्थाप्य तिष्ठन्तं घननीलं स्वतेजसा भासयन्तमिह विश्वं पीताम्बरपरिधानं चन्दनकर्पूरलिप्तसर्वाङ्गम् कर्णपूर्णनेत्रं कुण्डलयुगमण्डितश्रवणं मन्दस्मितमुखकमलं सकौस्तुभोदारमणिहारं वलयाङ्गुलीयकान्त्या नुज्ज्वलयन्तं स्वलङ्कारान् गलविलुलितवनमालं स्वतेजसा पास्तकलिकालं गुञ्जारवालिकलितं गुञ्जापुञ्जान्विते शिरसि भुञ्जानं सह कोपैः कुञ्जान्तर्वर्तिनं नमत मन्दारपुष्पवासित मन्दानिलसेवितपरानन्दं मन्दाकिनीयुतपदं नमत महानन्ददं महापुरुषं सुरभीकृतदिग्वलयं सुरभिशतैरावृतः परितः सुरभीतिक्षपणमः सुरभीमं यादवं नमत अशरण शरण महाप्रभो तुम स्वामी हम दास कीजय कृपा कृपालु मम दीजय गुरु सहवास तुम दीनन रखवार हम अहंकार अवतार अस करो कृपा कृपालु अब दीन बनो सरकार हो ऐसो हो पतित जो
पतितना पुहिमान। ऐसे पतित विचित्र को पावन करु तब जान। सबे भिखारी जगत के जेतिक नातेदार। दिव्य प्रेम आनंद के तुम एक साहूकार। धनी गुरुवर धाम निवास सुनो मन। पुण्यन पुंज सो पाए जो। बनी दीन प्रपन्न रहो गुरु के नित्य सेवा सो ताहि रिझाए जो। मन ते हरि को गुरु को सुमिरो। रसना सो सदा गुण गाए जो। क्षण भंगुर जीवन जानी मना। क्षण हो जनी व्यर्थ कमाए जो। सब धामन वारो वृंदावन पे। और वृंदावन हो गुरु धाम पैवारो। जो गुरु के पद प्रीति जुई तो भजो चली आवे को ब्रह्म विचारो। है हरि निर्मल भक्तन को। गुरु है अधमों को उदाहरण हारो। औरन को गुरु हो या न हो। गुरु मेरो कृपालु सुभाग हमारो। औरन को गुरु हो या न हो। गुरु मेरो कृपालु सुभाग हमारो।
श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। श्री गुरुधाम मनगढ़ की जय। लाडली लाल की जय। जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे। You have book number 1 in front of you, page number, please turn to page number 107. This is a heartfelt prayer to Radharani. ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी। प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वारी,
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी,
प्यारी बरसाने
वारी,
ओ भोरी भारी भोरी भारी प्यारी, मैं तो वारी वारी,
ओ भोरी भारी प्यारी, मैं तो वारी वारी,
ओ भोरी भारी प्यारी, ओ भोरी भारी प्यारी, मैं तो वारी वारी,
ओ भोरी भारी
ढोलक लाउडर प्लीज,
मैं तो वारी वारी,
नो भोरी भारी प्यारी, मैं तो वारी वारी, सब लोग ताली बजाइए गाइए,
प्यारी
मैं तो वारी वारी, प्यारी प्यारी
प्यारी प्यारी
प्यारी प्यारी,
प्यारी प्यारी,
भोरी भारी
भोरी भारी,
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वारी,
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वारी,
बरसाने वारी प्यारी, बरसाने वारी प्यारी, वृषभान दुलारी प्यारी,
बरसाने वारी प्यारी, वृषभान दुलारी प्यारी,
बरसाने वारी प्यारी, बरसाने वारी प्यारी, वृषभान दुलारी प्यारी,
बरसाने वारी प्यारी, वृषभान दुलारी प्यारी,
प्यारी प्यारी
प्यारी प्यारी,
प्यारी प्यारी,
प्यारी प्यारी,
ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी
प्यारी बरसाने
वारी।
ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी।
ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी।
नथ बेसर वारी प्यारी नथ बेसर वारी प्यारी अति भोरी भारी प्यारी।
नथ बेसर वारी प्यारी अति भोरी भारी प्यारी।
नथ बेसर वारी प्यारी नथ बेसर वारी प्यारी अति भोरी भारी प्यारी।
नथ बेसर वारी प्यारी अति भोरी भारी प्यारी।
प्यारी प्यारी
प्यारी प्यारी
प्यारी प्यारी
प्यारी प्यारी।
नथ बेसर वारी प्यारी नथ बेसर वारी प्यारी अति भोरी भारी प्यारी।
नथ बेसर वारी प्यारी अति भोरी भारी प्यारी।
ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी।
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 जोई रो कर कहा मम प्यारी जोई रो कर कहा मम प्यारी तेहि उर्लावती सुकुमारी।
जोई रो कर कहा मम प्यारी तेहि उर्लावती सुकुमारी।
जोई रो कर कहा मम प्यारी जोई रो कर कहा मम प्यारी तेहि उर्लावती सुकुमारी।
जोई रो कर कहा मम प्यारी तेहि उर्लावती सुकुमारी।
सुकुमारी
तुम्हारी
भोरी भारी
भोरी भारी
ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी
ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी
दे दो निज सेवा प्यारी दे दो निज सेवा प्यारी नहीं चाहत पदार्थ चारी
दे दो निज सेवा प्यारी नहीं चाहत पदार्थ चारी
दे दो निज सेवा प्यारी दे दो निज सेवा प्यारी नहीं चाहत पदार्थ चारी
दे दो निज सेवा प्यारी नहीं चाहत पदार्थ चारी
प्यारी प्यारी
प्यारी प्यारी
ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी
ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी
तुम करुणा की अवतारी तुम करुणा की अवतारी बलिहारी तब बलिहारी
तुम करुणा की अवतारी बलिहारी तब बलिहारी
तुम करुणा की अवतारी तुम करुणा की अवतारी बलिहारी तब बलिहारी
तुम करुणा की अवतारी बलिहारी तब बलिहारी
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 ओ प्यारी 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 ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी
ओ प्यारी 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 बरसाने वारी
तुम अति कृपालु महतारी तुम अति कृपालु महतारी सुधिले हो हमारी हूँ प्यारी
तुम अति कृपालु महतारी सुधिले हो हमारी हो प्यारी
तुम अति कृपालु महतारी तुम अति कृपालु महतारी हमारी हो प्यारी।
तुम अति कृपालु महतारी, सुधिले हो हमारी हो प्यारी।
तुम अति कृपालु महतारी, सुधिले हो हमारी हो प्यारी।
तुम अति कृपालु महतारी, सुधिले हो हमारी हो प्यारी।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वारी।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वाली।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वारी।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वाली।
तुम अति कृपालु महतारी, सुधिले हो हमारी हूँ प्यारी।
तुम अति कृपालु महतारी, सुधिले हो हमारी हो प्यारी।
तुम अति कृपालु महतारी, तुम अति कृपालु महतारी, सुधिले हो हमारी हूँ प्यारी।
तुम अति कृपालु महतारी, सुधिले हो हमारी हो प्यारी।
प्यारी प्यारी
प्यारी प्यारी,
प्यारी प्यारी,
प्यारी प्यारी।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वारी।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वाली।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वारी।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वाली।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वारी।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वाली।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वारी।
ओ प्यारी प्यारी प्यारी, प्यारी बरसाने वाली।
Page number is 28, same book. Please turn back the pages. Page 28, Prishta Sankhya 28. Top of the page, Kishori Mori, ab na lagao baar. प्रेम रस मदिरा का एक पद है, दैन्य माधुरी का। किशोरी मोरी अब ना लगाओ बार, हे अलबेली राधिके अब बार ना लगाओ, यानी देर ना करो। मैं तुम्हारे द्वार पर खड़ा होकर केवल तुम्हारी कृपा की भिक्षा मांग रहा हूँ। महापुरुषों के मुख से सुना है कि तुम्हारे दरबार में दीनों का सदा सम्मान हुआ करता है। फिर भी जो देर हो रही है, इसे देर होती है अंधेर नहीं, इस लोकोक्ति के अनुसार समझकर विश्वासपूर्वक आशा लगाए बैठा हूँ। किशोरी जी, तुम्हारी कृपा पाने में कितनी ही देर क्यों न हो, पर तुम यह न समझना कि मैं देर होने के कारण तुम्हारा अवलंब छोड़ दूंगा, क्योंकि मैं पक्का जड़, हठी एवं मूर्ख हूँ। जगत गुरु श्री कृपालु जी महाराज कहते हैं कि हे किशोरी जी, चुपके से आप मुझे दर्शन दे जाओ। यदि तुम्हें यह डर हो कि तुम और लोगों से कह दोगे, तो मैं वचन देता हूँ कि मैं किसी से नहीं कहूँगा। अब ना लगाओ बार, किशोरी मोरी 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 मांगत भीख कृपा की केवल, मांगत भीख कृपा मांगत भीख कृपा की केवल, मांगत भीख कृपा किशोरी मोरी खड़ो तिहारे द्वार, किशोरी मोरी किशोरी मोरी किशोरी मोरी राधे मोरी राधे मोरी अब ना लगाओ बार, किशोरी मोरी अब ना लगाओ बार, किशोरी मोरी। अस सुनी दीन को रसिकन मुख अस सुनी दीन को रसिकन मुख अस सुनी दीन को रसिकन मुख अस सुनी दीन को आदर यही दरबार किशोरी मोरी आदर यही दरबार किशोरी मोरी किशोरी मोरी किशोरी मोरी देर होत अंधेर नहीं बस 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 इह रह्यो आधार किशोरी मोरी 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 किशोरी मोरी किशोरी मोरी राधे मोरी राधे मोरी अपना लगाओ बार किशोरी मोरी अब ना लगाओ बार किशोरी मोरी देर भये जनी जाने हो तजी हो
देर भय जनि जाने हूँ तजी हो
देर भये जनि जाने हूँ तजी हो
देर भये जनि जाने हूँ तजी हो
जड़ हो जड़ हठी गमार किशोरी मोरी गमार किशोरी मोरी
जड़ हठी गमार किशोरी मोरी
अब ना बार किशोरी मोरी
अब ना लगाओ बार किशोरी मोरी
अब ना बार किशोरी मोरी
अब ना लगाओ बार किशोरी मोरी
कही हो कही हाँ नहीं कृपालु काहू सो
कही हाँ नहीं कृपालु
कही हाँ नहीं कृपालु काहू सो
कही हाँ नहीं कृपालु काहू सो
कृपालु काहू सो
कृपालु काहू
एक बार किशोरी मोरी
आ जाइया एक बार किशोरी मोरी
आ जाइया एक बार किशोरी मोरी
आ जाइया एक बार किशोरी मोरी
अब ना लगाओ बार किशोरी मोरी
अब ना लगाओ बार किशोरी मोरी
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। A question is often asked, which is, why do good people go through so much pain in life? Why does someone who practices devotion go through sorrow and suffering in life? This is a question which is asked very frequently. So I'll take up this question and give an answer according to scriptures and saints. When we see a person, we see just black or white. We tend to say, this is a good person, or this fellow is not good. Either a person is good in our eyes or bad. But that is never the case. Even in Satyug, when most people were very good, pious, virtuous, and devotional, there were those who had evil tendencies. Even in Satyug. This is Kali Yuga. Everyone has good and bad in them. Everyone. Although we tend to think otherwise. The person who is being very good, who is good in life at present, we don't know his past, we don't know what he has done in previous lives. We only see the one lifetime or just one part of the one lifetime. That's all we see. We see only as much as we are able to see when we interact with that person. That's all we know. But the Supreme Personality, God, sees unlimited pastimes, uncountable pastimes of that person. And every action that we have ever performed as humans, mind you, just as humans, not in any other form of life, not even as devtas. And we have been in the body of devtas countless times as well. But every time we are born human, each and every action we perform, which really means each and every thought we have ever had, because God views our thoughts as actions. This is why we are cautioned again and again, observe your mind and control your mind. Don't just think any thought that comes into your mind, because these thoughts are considered as actions in the eyes of God, and every action bears consequence. Avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham. Every action, good or bad, will bear fruit. Karam pradhan vishwa kari rakha, jo jas kariya so tas phal chakha. Goswami Tulsidas ji says the same in the Ramayana, jo jas karai so tas phal chakha. As one does, so one reaps. Everyone, we all reap fruits of our actions. And actions, physical actions, begin with thoughts. We don't just do anything without thinking about it first. The physical action may be taken immediately after we think about doing it, or it may happen an hour later, or a day, or a year, or 10 years later, but every action begins with a thought. We don't know even the thoughts we've had for 12 hours or even for 1 hour. We're completely unaware. But God keeps an account of countless actions that each and every human has ever thought. We have lived time and time again, uncountable times as humans, and there is an unlimited stock of actions. When will I reap the fruits of those good thoughts I have had, kind and compassionate thoughts? I don't know. Only God knows. And when will we reap the fruits of our sinful thoughts, our cruel thoughts? We don't know. But one day or another, in this lifetime or another lifetime, we will reap the fruits of those thoughts, those actions. Why are we here today, sitting here in Yugal Kunj as humans? So much of this has to do with our previous lives. A lot has to do with what we have done previously. We have practiced bhakti. We have done devotion. As a result of which, and we don't remember that, but as a result of that devotion, we are all sitting here. We have an interest in God. We do believe in God. We do believe that we have a connection with God. We do try to create that connection or to strengthen that connection with God. We do have utmost respect for saintly souls. We do. We are not people who are filled with doubts. We do have doubts, but we have faith also. We do tend to take the words of our Guru to heart. We do respect saintly souls who tell us about God. And that is because of what we have done in previous lives. We have no recollection of that. We have very weak memories. We don't remember what we did yesterday. We have to think about it. Where was I yesterday? Why do I feel tired today? Oh, yesterday was a really busy day. I forgot. We don't remember much. So it can't be left to us to give us the fruits of our actions. And sometimes we think, I wish God would not give me fruits of my actions. But this is a very naive way of thinking, because if God did not give us fruits of our actions, we would not reap the fruits of our good and devotional actions also. And then how could we get what we really, really want? We want the human form of life. We know there are 8.4 million species of life. And we also know that the human life is the most precious and the most desirable. We do know that. So, if we say, oh, I wish God didn't give me fruits of my actions, we are being naive, because if that were to happen, then we would not reap the fruits of our devotional acts. And this is what happens in Swargalok, doesn't it? Once God, taking utmost pity on Indra, the king of Swargalok, went to Indra Lok and gave darshan. Indra was at that time having a very magnificent palace built for himself. And the instruction he gave to Vishwakarma was that this palace should be like no other palace ever built. So at that time, God graced Indra with darshan. He appeared before Indra in the form of a little boy. And that little boy, Shri Krishna said to Indra, Maharaj, you are building a palace, the likes of which no other Indra before you has ever built. Indra said, little boy, who are you and where did you come from? And by the way, what do you mean no other Indra? I am the one and only Indra. Maharaj, there were countless before you and there will be countless after you. This is a seat that you have. Suddenly there appeared on the ground a huge lineup of ants. And Indra asked, what are these? Shri Krishna said in the form of a boy, these are ants. I know that. Where did they come from? Why is there such a huge lineup of ants? Maharaj, all these ants were once Indra, just like you are now. And now look at them, they're ants. And Indra's head started to spin. These were all Indras like me? Yes. Yours is a seat. You're occupying it now, somebody else will occupy it next, and then somebody else. And countless before you have occupied the seat. It's like the seat of a president or a prime minister. And Indra sat down. He thought he was going to fall. And he said, I don't want this palace built anymore. He started thinking like this. And just then, a sage by the name of Lomash appeared. He was bare-chested, and some clumps of hair from his chest were missing. And he had a straw mat clutched under his one arm, and he was holding a begging bowl, like a mandal in his other. And Indra did pranam to Lomash Muni, and he asked, Sir, who are you and where did you come from? And Lomash Muni introduced himself. Indra asked, where do you reside? And Lomash Muni smiled and said, I don't reside in any one place. I just sleep wherever I am. And when it's time to sleep, I lay this mat down. Chatai hoti hai na? I lay this mat down and I sleep on it very comfortably. And when I'm hungry, I go begging wherever I happen to be. My disciples, they did offer to build me an ashram, but I said, what's the use? Life is short. Life is so short. Why build an ashram? Why build a house? And then Indra said, Maharaj, what is the mystery behind the missing clumps of hair from your chest? Lomash Muni laughed a little bit. He said, oh, that. Well, Indra, the fact is that when one Indra leaves Swargalok, when his term is over, then one strand of hair from my chest falls down. Indra heard this and he thought, what is he saying? My life is so long, and he's talking about so many Indras who have left their seat. That's why so many clumps of hair is missing, but so many still remain. He has an extremely long life. And he is saying that life is too short, and he's living in such simplicity, just a straw mat clutched under one arm, and in the other the other hand is holding a kamanda, a begging bowl. That's all he has. And look at me, what a fool I am. Compared to his life, my life is so short. What am I doing? Building this magnificent palace for myself. So now he was completely convinced not to build the palace. Then he thought, I shall go away to the forest and I shall practice devotion to God full time. Indra left, and the demons now made plans to attack Swargalok because the king is missing. The public, the other devtas, they went running to Brihaspati ji, guru of all the devtas, and said, our king is missing. Maharaj, please do something. Indra is missing. Brihaspati ji found Indra out and said, what are you doing here? Why are you not ruling your kingdom? Indra said, Gurudev, I don't want to rule a kingdom. I have understood that life is short and I must practice devotion. मुझे भगवान की भक्ति करनी है महाराज. Brihaspati ji said, it makes no difference. Your devotion as a devta makes no difference, because you do not reap fruits of your actions. For that you'll have to be born as a human. When you were born a human, you desired to be a Swargavasi, a resident in Swarg. You made a foolish choice. But this time, when you have the privilege of being born human once again, then keep in mind, think about it again and again, that the only aim of your life is to practice devotion. Then you'll reap the fruits of your actions. This is why devtas wish to be born human. Not because our body is more beautiful. It is not. Compared to their body, which is so beautiful and naturally fragrant, that body which is never ravaged by disease or old age, that body is extremely beautiful. But these devtas wish to be born human. Gayanti deva hakila gita kani dhanyastu ye bharat bhumi bhage. They wish to be born human in the sacred land of Bharat, India, so that they may practice devotion, so that they may have great knowledge in the form of Vedas and Vedic scriptures at their disposal. So, we have practiced devotion to God previously. So God gave us this form of life in which we can practice devotion, in which we can reap the fruits of our devotion and all other actions. The individual who is practicing serious devotion in this life has also committed uncountable murders in the past, previous lives. We all know about the example, we all have heard the example of Valmiki, who was Ratnakar, a dacoit and a murderer. When he came to his senses, his great sanskars awakened, and instructed by Narad Muni, he started chanting Mara, 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 Mara. And because of his utmost faith in his guru, who was a genuine guru, he attained God realization. So now a saint, Valmiki, but he has been a murderer in his same life. In one life, he went from being such a sinner to such a great saint, who wrote the story of Ram even before Bhagwan Ram appeared on earth. So even the one who is practicing devotion very seriously has committed all sorts of atrocities in the past. And from the accumulated actions of uncountable lives that have yet to bear fruit, God takes some, and this is a mixture of good actions, please pay attention, good actions, bad actions, devotional acts, it's a mixture. And God gives us the fruits of those actions. Go ahead and bear the consequences of these actions. So the individual who is being very devotional, who is a very kind-hearted person, very compassionate, who understands the pain of another, he has to go through problems in life, challenges in life. People ask, oh, but she was practicing so much devotion. Why did she have to go through this suffering? It's not that someone who practices bhakti will not have any problems in life, or he or she will never have any sorrow or suffering in life. It's just that through the practice of devotion, and this is very important because people all over the world ask this question. And even people who are practicing devotion ask this question. Why did this happen to them? Why did this happen to her, to him? Such a great, very wonderful devotee. The practice of devotion does not ensure that we will not have any problems in life. But the genuine practice of devotion does ensure that we will become internally so strong and so powerful that we will be able to look at what other people consider to be huge problems, and we will think them to be trifling problems. These are not really a problem. Big problems seem to be very small. Very small. Without the practice of genuine devotion, every little problem seems like a huge problem. And devotion, the goddess of devotion, Bhakti Devi, strengthens the heart so much that big problems seem like nothing. There's a family of devotees living somewhere in the world, and when the father died, the patriarch of the family, when he died, they had heard many, many lectures, they had practiced devotion, and he was elderly anyway. So they did not cry much. Their eyes were dry. The neighbors and other family members had big problems with that. Why aren't you crying? They would try to make them cry. Oh, how wonderful he was. And they would start to cry. And that generally gets the other person crying. So it would get them crying. But people would try to make them cry. They said, we felt so guilty. But we have heard so much from Shri Maharaj-ji. We have heard your lectures so many times. We have been doing sadhana. So is it wrong that we didn't cry much? Devotion gives a person this kind of strength. Devotion does not, the practice of devotion does not ensure that there will be no death in the family. In Bhagwan Ram's family, Raja Dashrath died. He died a broken man. He was a king, he was so powerful. He died, and Bhagwan Ram could not save his own father. Arjun's young son Abhimanyu died. Shri Krishna is his uncle. Shri Krishna did not save Abhimanyu. Arjun has the same powers as Shri Krishna. Arjun did not save Abhimanyu. And yet there are many, many Hindus who will ask a Pandit to come to their house when there is a danger of someone in the family, a loved one dying. They say, Panditji, please come to our house and do the Mrityunjay Jap. Recite the Mrityunjay Jap. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiv Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Actually, the word Mrityu in here does not mean death. It really means Maya. O three-eyed Bhagwan Shankar, O most beautiful Bhagwan Shankar, take my Maya away from me. That's what it means. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam. It's from the Vedas. But we humans, we misinterpreted it. We thought Mrityu, Mrityu, death. So Bhagwan Shankar will protect my loved ones and myself from death. So Panditji, would you kindly recite this mantra? And it's being recited in so many households. Bhagwan could not save his own father. He could not save his own nephew. Bhagwan Shri Krishna's whole family perished. They fought with one another and they all died. Shri Krishna is smiling. He didn't save them. When it's time for someone to leave their soul, when it's time for the soul rather, to leave the body, then no one can stop that. Mrityunjay jap recital will save that. Bhagavan will say, okay, you have recited this for 12 hours. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spare your son's life. That's what I'll do. Because I'm so happy with Mrityunjay jap. Does that make sense? My Gurudev used to say, आखिर मनुष्य हो, बुद्धि प्रधान जीव हो, अपनी बुद्धि का प्रयोग करो. After all, you're a human. Does it make any sense to you that God will spare your loved one's life just because you are having a priest recite the Mrityunjay jap, some words, and you are misinterpreting the words in the first place? These Sanskrit words, they have, Sanskrit is it's a language that it's very systematic, it's very scientific, and as in other languages, one word could have many meanings. So mrityu means death of the body, and it also means maya, the beguiling energy of God, maya. So here is a devotee who is begging Bhagwan Shankar to liberate him from maya, and here we are saying, please prevent my loved one from dying. Such a misinterpretation. So, devotion makes us internally stronger. We become very, very powerful. And then we start to, because when we attain knowledge, when you receive knowledge from a guru, you listen to the guru, you listen to your guru, and you attain amazing amount of knowledge. That knowledge is power. So when you really internalize that knowledge, you become really powerful. And then it doesn't matter that you are practicing devotion day in and day out. There will be death in the family, there will be disease, there will be all that. There will be ups and downs in life. There was a woman who approached Mahatma Buddha and she was devastated. She carried the body of her little son in her, and he was deceased. And she said, I know who you are. You are so powerful. Please restore my son to perfect life. And Mahatma Buddha said, I cannot do that. This is the law of God. She said, no, I beg you, you can do anything. And she kept on begging. So Mahatma Buddha said, well, there is a way. And she was so happy to hear that. She said, I'll do anything. He said, go and find and bring mustard seeds from anyone, from family. She said, I can do that easily, but make sure that there has been no death in that family. She said, I can do that. She went to one house after another, and she went to so many, hundreds. And everywhere she heard that there has been a death in the family. And by that time, she had made peace with her son's death. She came back to Mahatma Buddha and she said, I apologize. Of course, I could not find a single household in which there had been no death. Death is a part of life. And she accepted her son's death. So devotion makes us stronger. And when we see the death of someone, a loved one, or a neighbor, or a friend, an acquaintance, a close friend, then we should learn from that. We should learn that we are also mortal beings. Death may come any moment. It's a good idea to go to a funeral. Sometimes you might think, well, I don't need to go there. It's a good idea to go. Because when we do that, we become aware of the harsh reality of life, which with knowledge does not seem so harsh. When you look at the big picture, countless lives have passed. I've had this body, then that one. I don't remember, but I've had countless bodies. Countless times I was born in the body of a sea creature. Countless times I was a land creature. Countless times I was a pesky mosquito. Countless times I've been born as a tree, stationary creature. Countless times I've been born human. Countless times I've been born and I've faced death. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, says Adi Shankaracharya. Punarapi janani jathare shayanam, iha sansare khalu dustare, kripaya pare pahi murare, bhaj govindam, govindam bhaj mudhamate. Worship Govind, O my foolish mind. Why are you getting stuck in this world of Maya? You have been born again and again. You have faced death again and again. You have hung upside down in the womb of a mother again and again. This play has been staged innumerable times. And here you are being stuck in it once again. Get out of this cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. So it's a good idea to be part of that scenario where there is death of a loved one or a neighbor or a friend. It is a very sad occasion because we will definitely miss that person. However, that occasion, solemn and sad occasion, it jolts us into reality that one day this will happen to me. This will happen to me. It's a surety. It's not that it may happen, it will happen. When? I don't know. And this is why saints say, regard every day as your final day. Live it as if it were your final day. So if today is my final day, what kind of thoughts should I have? What should I be doing? What should I be thinking? Should I be getting involved in he said, she said, they said? Should I be involved in petty quarrels and fights and arguments, trying to prove myself right, trying to show the other person down? Should I be finding faults with everyone I see? What should I be doing? That's a question, a wonderful question to ask ourselves every single day. When we get up, I am lucky to be alive. With God's grace, I am alive. Perhaps this is my last day. So I will do the best that I can do. I will be the best version of myself. I will think the right thoughts. What do I want to go with when I leave, when I, the soul, when I leave the body? What sort of luggage do I want to take with me? Anger? Frustration? Greed? Pride? Lust? Envy? Hypocrisy? Do I want to take all this with me? Oh no, I don't want to take all this with me. All right, then act accordingly. There are many people that you must know of, and a few that I can think of, who went to sleep one night making all sorts of plans, but never woke up in the morning. They just didn't wake up. Did they know it was their last day, that they would not wake up from their slumber? They were going into a deep slumber from which they'll never awaken. They did not know that. This is why a saint by the name Narayan says, "Do baatan ko bhuli mat jo chahasi kalyan." Don't forget two things if you want to improve yourself and if you want to attain liberation. Narayan ik maut ko dujo Shri Bhagwan. First of all, remember death. Secondly, remember God. Because we all believe in God. We have perhaps 10% faith in God, or 20 or 30, depending on individuals. We have different levels of faith in God. But what do we think to ourselves? I will do devotion some other time. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next week, next month. The instruction for the sadhak is to do sadhana every day. Do Rup Dhyana every single day. But the mind says, well, you missed it one day, it's not a big deal. Well, since you missed it one day, let's start next week. Well, you missed 1 week, next month is a very good month, let's start then. Oh, I'm really busy this month and next month and the one afterwards. You know what, I'll start with the new year. I'll go to Yugal Kunj, there'll be 12 hours of Hare Ram Sankirtan, and that's a wonderful time to start off. I'll just do it next year. 2024 is when I will start. But funny thing is, and sad thing is, that we thought the same when 2023 was coming, and the same when 2022 was coming. We've thought this every single year. So we must keep death in mind, first and foremost. And death should not frighten us. It's a part of life. It has happened before. It will happen again. And we are not so afraid of our own death, are we? We are more afraid of our loved ones dying. So a devotee had asked Shri Maharaji, she had written a letter and she had sent it to India. And she had said, Maharaji, I did not think I was so attached to my parents, but now that they're now much older, I see how frightened I am of just thinking about their demise. And I realize I'm extremely attached to them. What should I do? And Shri Maharaji wrote back, Meri bitya, tum abhi se soch lo ki wo chale gaye. My dear daughter, think right from now that they have gone. That's tough, isn't it? Very difficult to think. They're alive, but they're gone. I dare not think this, because what if they die? What if they die? Again, Shri Maharaji would say, you're a human, just think about it. Just by you wishing, just by you thinking that they're dead, they're not going to die. Nobody dies before their time. Not even a person who commits suicide. If it's not his time, all his efforts to kill himself will go to waste. But when it's time, he will succeed. So, right from now, we should think, the ones I'm most attached to, they have left, so that we become prepared. Preparation should not come once it has happened already. Preparation has to start in advance. And then what happens is that we are prepared and we are not devastated. Have you not heard of people who have gone mad and after the death of their loved one, or who have tried to put an end to their own lives? They were so devastated. But then the question begs to be asked, why? Why did you not prepare yourself? Is there anyone who took birth and did not die? And do people die only at the ripe old age of 90 or 95, 100? Is that the only age? These are the only ages when people die? No. Then why are you so surprised? And Shri Maharaji used to say, are you surprised and do you cry when it's hot in the summer and cold in the winter? When it rains in the rainy season, do you cry? Boo-hoo, why is it crying? Why is it raining? Because it's rainy season. Silly. We don't cry. It's natural. So it is natural also that once someone is born, death will happen. So even the person who is practicing devotion, even the person who will give the shirt off his back to anyone, he's so kind and she is so giving and so does so much devotion and so on and so forth, they will also go through problems in life. Because this is not our one and only life. We have lived before uncountable times. And there are actions that we have performed. People also ask, but someone so young, sometimes even a child, what did the child do? People ask and they express a lot of anger at God. What did this child do? This child had to go through this illness and then death. I don't understand. I have lost faith in God. That child is a child in our eyes, but that child has lived before, and again, the actions are there. And this child was meant to have 2 years of life, sometimes 2 days of life. 2 days, that's it. But it was in this child's destiny. It was in her destiny. So why find blame? Why put the blame on God? Why find faults with God? It's because of our own ignorance, lack of understanding, that we put the blame on God. God is doing what He has to do. And also, we must remember, when a loved one dies, We say, I love him so much, how will I go on? And out of love, I'm grieving so much. But we forget that no matter how much our love may be for our loved ones, but God loves them infinitely more. Why do we forget that? God loves them infinitely more. We cannot love anyone even a fraction of how God loves them. God is the one to whom this person belonged. God is the one to whom this person will belong. We have always belonged to God. We belong to God in the present, and we will always belong only to God. So we should take solace. We should find solace in this, that God loves our loved ones infinitely more than we could ever love them. And we should stop finding fault with God. We should never think God should not have done this. With our small little intellect, we are not able to understand the divine works of God. Only one thing has to be understood, and that is that God shows His grace in many ways, in many different ways. But no matter what God gives to us, He is gracing us, whether it is life or death. Having full faith in God, and we must practice having that faith. Just as we must practice thinking about death, we must practice thinking about God. Who is God to me? Who is Shri Krishna to me? What relationship do I have with Him? We must forge an even greater relationship with Bhagwan, and we must practice thinking about the reality of life, which includes death in it. And then we will become extremely powerful, so that any problem comes in life, it will seem like a very small, a trifle, not a huge mountain. It will seem like a little mustard seed, not like a huge mountain. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Shrimad Sadguru Sarkar ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. We will sing another bhajan from the same book, from book number 1. Those of you who don't have a book, you came a little bit later, can you please raise your hand and someone give them a book? Right in front over here, can someone get the books? Page number is 174. Page numbers are at the bottom of the page. पेज नंबर पेज के नीचे लिखे हैं, नीचे वाले भाग में 174, 174. सुमिरन कर ले मना राधा अरु राधा रमना. 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 दोई गोपी जन जीवना राधा अरु राधा रमना. दोई गोपी जन जीवना राधा अरु राधा रमना. राधा अरु राधा रमना।
राधा राधा रमना।
तीनों मम प्राण धना, तीनों मम प्राण धना। गोपी राधा राधा रमना।
तीनों मम प्राण धना। गोपी राधा राधा रमना।
गोपी राधा राधा रमना।
गोपी राधा राधा रमना।
सुमिरन 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 कर ले मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना। राधा राधा रमना।
है निष्काम मना, है निष्काम मना। नित इनहीन भजना।
निष्काम मना। नित इनहीन भजना।
नित इनहीन भजना।
नित इनहीन भजना।
सुमिरन कर ले, सुमिरन कर ले मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना। राधा राधा रमना।
सुमिरन 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 कर ले मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना। राधा राधा रमना।
गोपी भाव गुरु ही मना। गोपी भाव गुरु ही मना। शरण ग्रहण करना।
गोपी भाव गुरु ही मना। शरण ग्रहण करना।
शरण ग्रहण करना।
शरण ग्रहण करना।
राग द्वेष जग में मना। राग द्वेष जग में मना। पल होना कभू करना।
राग द्वेष जग में मना। पल होना कभू करना।
पल होना कभू करना।
पल होना कभू करना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना। राधा राधा रमना।
सांचो मीत तेरे दो मना। सांचो मीत तेरे दो मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
साचो मीत तेरे दो मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सांचो मीत तेरे दो मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
साचो मीत तेरे दो मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सांचो माता पिता है, सांचो माता पिता है मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
साचो माता पिता है मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
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 सुमिरन 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 कर ले मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
राधा अरु राधा रमना।
राधा अरु राधा रमना।
तेरे सब कुछ है मना। तेरे सब कुछ है मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
तेरे सब कुछ है मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
भाव मधुर ही मना। भाव मधुर ही मना। राधा रमना में रखना।
भाव मधुर ही मना। राधा रमना में रखना।
राधा रमना में रखना।
राधा रमना में रखना।
भाव मधुर ही मना। राधा रमना में रखना।
भाव मधुर ही मना। राधा रमना में रखना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
राधा अरु राधा रमना।
राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना। राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन
बनी के अनन्य मना, बनी के अनन्य मना, राधा रमना को भजना।
बनी के अनन्य मना, राधा रमना को भजना।
राधा रमना को भजना,
राधा रमना को भजना।
बनी के अनन्य मना, बनी के अनन्य मना, राधा रमना को भजना।
बनी के अनन्य मना, राधा रमना को भजना।
भुक्ति मुक्ति दोनों को मना, डाकिनी समान मानना।
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 सुमिरन 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 कर ले मना, राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना, राधा अरु राधा रमना।
दोनों ही कृपालु हैं मना, दोनों ही कृपालु हैं मना, राधा अरु राधा रमना।
दोनों ही कृपालु है मना, राधा अरु राधा रमना।
राधा अरु राधा रमना,
राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना, राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना, राधा अरु राधा रमना।
राधा अरु राधा रमना,
राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन 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 कर ले मना, राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना, राधा अरु राधा रमना।
सुमिरन कर ले मना, सुमिरन कर ले मना, राधा अरु राधा रमना।
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 राधा अरु राधा रमना,
राधा अरु राधा रमना।
राधा अरु राधा रमना,
राधा अरु राधा रमना,
राधा अरु राधा रमना,
राधा अरु राधा रमना।
बोलिए श्री राधा कृष्ण भगवान की जय। अब हम भोग लगाएंगे। आपकी पुस्तक में हिंदी के शब्द हैं, बिल्कुल शुरुआत में हैं। पृष्ठ संख्या है 6, हिंदी के शब्द। The English words are on page number 15.
अपना और तरसा रसिया, आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। अपना और तरसा रसिया, आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। यद्यपि यह सच है नहीं तुम कहा, यद्यपि यह सच है नहीं तुम कहा। भूख प्यास लागती रसिया, भूख प्यास लागती रसिया। भूख प्यास लागती रसिया, भूख प्यास लागती रसिया। तदपि भाववश व्रज छछिया लगे, चोरी करत फिरो रसिया। तदपि भाववश व्रज छछिया लगे, चोरी करत फिरो रसिया। चोरी करत फिरो रसिया, चोरी करत फिरो रसिया। आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया, आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। भाव भरा के ले काजल का, भाव भरा के ले काजल का। विदुरानी घर खायो रसिया, विदुरानी घर खायो रसिया। विदुरानी घर खायो रसिया, विदुरानी घर खायो रसिया। भावहीन दुर्योधन व्यंजन, नहीं डूक मन भायो रसिया। भावहीन दुर्योधन व्यंजन, नहीं डूक मन भायो रसिया। नहीं डूक मन भायो रसिया, नहीं डूक मन भायो रसिया। आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया, आओ आओ भोग लगाओ रसिया। जो रस शबरी के जूठे मुख, जो रस शबरी के जूठे मुख। बेर खाय पायो रसिया, बेर खाय पायो रसिया। बेर खाय पायो रसिया, बेर खाय पायो रसिया। जनकपुरी के राज भोग मह, सोरस नहीं पायो रसिया। जनकपुरी के राज भोग मह, सोरस नहीं
Radhe Radhe. Welcome everyone to Yugal Kunj. We have our next 12-hour Akhand Kirtan led by Didi ji coming up this Saturday, May 13th from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. Please plan on being here for the entire day in order to get the most of it. We will celebrate Mother's Day on May 14th during our Sunday Satsang until 11 a.m. After that, we will have our Gurukul end-of-year presentation. Yugal Kunj offers summer camp from May 29th till July 28th for children between the ages of 2 to 14 years old. Our theme for summer camp is the states of India, which will include instilling moral values, cultural diversity, life skills, along with our STEM program, music, sports, creative arts, and much more. Please register your children by going on our website, yugalkunj.org, or please visit our front desk. Shri Rameshwari Devi ji will be here and will be taking a lecture series on practice of devotion. It will take place on Thursday, May 25th and Friday, May 26th from 7 till 8:30 p.m. So please mark your calendars. Shri Rameshwari Devi ji will also be leading our Memorial Weekend Retreat from May 25th until May 29th. If you would like to volunteer cooking for God and devotees in our kitchen, then please go on our website, yugalkunj.org, and register. Once you're on that website, go into that tab where it says Cooking and Prasad, and it will take you to this next slide. Click on the Cooking and Prasad Seva, and it should be able to take you to dates of the calendar where you will be able to pick the date that you can like. I think we're just having some problems here. But once you're on that website, click on the register Cooking Prasad. The next slide, there's 3 steps. And the last step, it will take you on that page. Click on that. And there should be a calendar. Once you click on that tab, it will give you a slide with all the dates of the month. The green color of the tabs will be the dates that are available. So if you look at the dates and if it's green and you think you can make that date, then please go ahead and click on that date. Suppose May 25th, it's green. Click on that and it should take you from that process. So if you would like to cook, come here, kitchen is available, cook for God and Guru and devotees, and you can volunteer that way. Thank you so much. Radhe Radhe.
Please stand for Aartis. आरती प्रीतम प्यारी के बनवारी नथवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी के बनवारी नथवारी की दुहन सिर कनक मुकुट झलके चल के जसीरे बैन जसीरे नैन जसीरे सैन दुहन में मन आरी के बनवारी नटवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी के बनवारी की दोन विकचित बनी परवारी दोन लट गनी छवियारी दोन कोमट कनी प्यारी रसन मुख पान हसन मुस्कान दसन दम कान
प्यारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की एक उर पीतांबर भरे एक उर नीलांबर लहरे दुहन उर ललमोटिन छहरे कांकनन खनक किंकिनी झनक नूपुरन भनक दुहन रुन चुन धुनि प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की एक सिर मोर मुकुट राजे एक सिर चुनरी छवि ठाजे दुहन सिर तिरछे बल प्राजे संग ब्रज बाल लाडली लाल बाह गल डाल कृपालु दुहन मृगचारी की बनवारी नथवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी की श्री राम श्री राम श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम् नव कंच लोचन कंच मुख कर कंच पद संचारुणम् श्री राम कंदर्प अगणित अमित छवि नवनील नीरद सुंदरम पटपीत मानव तड़ित रुचि शुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम पटपीत मानव तड़ित रुचि शुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम श्री राम भज दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्य वंशनि कंदनम रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम श्री राम सिर मुकुट कुंडल तिलक चारु उदार अंग विभूषणम आजानु भुज शर चाप धर संग्राम जित कर भूषणम आजानु भुज शर चाप धर संग्राम जित कर भूषणम श्री राम इति वदति तुलसी दास शंकर शेष मुनि मन रंजनम मम हृदय कंचन वास कुरु कामादिखल दल कंचनम मम हृदय कंचन वास कुरु कामादिखल दल कंचनम श्री राम श्री राम श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम नव कंच लोचन कंच मुख कर कंज पद कंचारुणम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम श्री राम।
बोलिए लाडली लाल
की जय,
सियावर रामचंद्र की
जय,
पवन सुत हनुमान की
जय,
जगत गुरु उत्तम श्री कृपालु जी महाराज की
जय,
श्री भक्ति धाम की
जय,
श्री युगल कुंज की
जय,
जय जय श्री राधे।